Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of my newish Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode series right here on MLB The Show 18. And today, we continue onward. In the last episode, of course, we made it through the first year draft. We did okay, all things considered. The major addition being Diego Liriano. These players will join the squad next season. So, of course, for those who aren't in the know, despite being signed, they do not really join the team. They just flat out don't join the team until the start of next year. So now we get to focus on this season. And, of course, we find ourselves 4.5 games back of the Yankees, just about a month out from the All-Star break. There's a couple of things we need to worry about with our team a little bit. Some of the starters could be doing a tad bit better, but for the most part, it's all right. The bullpen isn't terrible. On paper, it's not the greatest, but for the most part, we're seeing some strong numbers. And lineup-wise as well, not the strongest, but we're still doing quite well. I'm not really complaining about the production levels from the majority of our players. So odds are, at least fingers crossed, we'll be in a position towards the All-Star break to be able to make some moves and to be able to bring in some reinforcements to this team. And hopefully at that point, we have a better indication of where the help really needs to be, where those reinforcements where the reinforcements need to be focused on. I don't know how to phrase it. You get what I'm saying. It's all well and good. Let's get this show on the road. Damn it, we're starting things off with a 4-game series against division rival Baltimore. They're on 23 wins on the year, so we are going to look to win 3 out of 4. Splitting this 50-50 is the bare minimum. Losing this series would be a disaster, and we did, in fact, split it 2 games apiece. Not exactly ideal. Against a team like that, if we're going to prove to be the real deal, we need to take 3 out of 4 there, but it's okay. We're just getting things started. It will be all right. 3-game series against Tampa, of course, another division rival. They're on 31 wins this year. 2 out of 3 would be great, or we can be swept. That's fine, I guess. All right, well, there goes some of that optimism. Wow. All right, we have lost 5 out of 7 so far in this episode, and immediately I'm feeling a bit more pessimistic. I'm waiting to see if there were any kind of major changes here. Of course, I gave the AI control, and it's not looking like anything was affected at the major league level, but what a tremendous disappointment. Someone like Aaron Sanchez, buddy. Your ERA is good for the memes, but you really need to pick it up. You're supposed to be one of our better guys, 81 overall, playing like an 85. You need to start doing just a tad bit better. And then lineup-wise, I don't think anything would have changed to a drastic extent. But still, not the best time of year to go on a slide. We're now 6 games back of New York, and the Red Sox are just 1 game back of us. They have played 2 extra games. Let's keep going here. 3-game series against the 32-win Nationals. Not really sure what to expect here. Although Gio Gonzalez hasn't been great. Tanner Roark certainly hasn't been great, and neither has Hellickson. So on paper, 2 out of 3 seems like it's, a possibility, but my confidence in this team's a little bit shaken right now, and we start off with a loss. Another loss. Neat. And we at least win the 3rd game. That is not ideal. We have lost 2 out of 3 series to begin today's episode. 2 quick games against Atlanta. They're 37 and 35. Taking at least 1 would be nice. I'd say that's the minimum, and we indeed split those 2 games. So now we are at 42 and 31 on the season. The Red Sox have jumped us in the standings, and we're now 7 back of the Yankees, which obviously isn't where we want to be, seeing as we are obviously attempting to live up to the GM goals rather than rebuilding. reaching the postseason this year. How possible or how likely is that? Is it even possible? I'd say yes, but that was before we started this episode, where we don't have a pitcher that's really even close to a 3.0 ERA anymore. Oh, Stroman, why must you do this to me? Oh my God. The bullpen's looking a little bit rough here too. Tony Zick has fallen off. Tepera is not looking great. Clippard's not looking great. I'm happy with Rosenthal and Rivero. That's about it. Right. Okay. I'm trying to think at this point, how long am I willing to wait before we make some panic changes? We have a 4-game series against the Angels, who are barely above 500. 3 out of 4 could turn it around for us, but losing this series, we might have to make some panic changes sooner rather than later. We've at least taken 2. The Yankees are offering Granderson for Adam Warren, which I am going to decline. Granderson's been okay this season. Warren actually hasn't been terrible for them, but I am going to try to avoid trading within the division. I feel like avoiding interdivision trades are the best way to go. I don't want to, help out anybody directly, as we have taken 3. Henderson Alvarez is back. Thank God. That should be a boost for us. And we took 3 out of 4 against the Angels. Not too bad. And now we play the 41-38 Houston Astros, which, 2 out of 3 here would be pretty good. It'd be pretty good. Am I feeling too optimistic about that? Not quite. I should have started off today's episode by saying it was tired 24, because it is, just a tad bit. And we do take 2 out of 3 against Houston. The one loss was a disaster, losing 11-1, but that's okay. We have a 3-game series, I would imagine, against Detroit as we head into the month of July. Let's sim these first 2. Double A ball guy goes down for a bit. Teoscar Hernandez. All right, a whole bunch of injury stuff as we split the first 2 games, but it is July 1st. We find ourselves 5 games back of New York, 48-34 on the season. Wild card wise, if the season ended today, we would be a playoff team, which I can't really be surprised that, of course, New York and Boston are doing as well as they are. A big factor here, though, a team like Houston, uncharacteristically struggling. And that's the big benefit for us, is if a team that is that good somehow struggles to this extent, quite helpful for us. And that might be the only way we can really make it in to the postseason. J.A. Happ's doing all right. Estrada and Sanchez, it's still not ideal. I don't know what the hell's going on with you guys, but the sooner you can get back to form. Like what happened to this Aaron Sanchez from 2 years ago, huh? The sooner you get back to form, the better for us. I'd say for the moment we are going to just continue onward towards the All-Star break before making any moves. It's actually a 4-game series against Detroit, so let's sim the next 2. Enola goes down with an injury, not for long, and we lose a Double-A guy for 1 to 2 months as we split that 4-game series with Detroit. 2 quick games against the 51-win Mets. We split that as well. And the Red Sox break my heart in real life, but make my day in this franchise mode run. They move Andrew Benintendi to Colorado for Tyler Anderson and David Dahl. I don't know why. I can't really understand that move. The Rockies steal Benintendi, and that could be huge for us. That might be a bigger move than anything we could have made. The Red Sox just screwing themselves over. There's no other way to put it. The Red Sox trading away a major piece of their core for the future, really not getting anything special back in return. That could be huge for us. Again, the biggest move we could have made, not making a move at all and letting Boston do something like that. We have 3 series left before the All-Star break. We're playing the Yankees, we're playing the Red Sox, and we also have 2 games against Atlanta. This is huge. This is the proving ground right here. If we can take the majority of the games against both Boston and New York, that proves that we are, at least for the moment, potential playoff contenders. We'll obviously need a few more pieces before we think any further than just making the playoffs, but it's series like these that are going to go a long way to proving whether or not we actually deserve to be here at the 50-win mark heading towards the All-Star break. So let's see what happens. 3 games against New York. We lose 2 out of 3. 2 quick games against Atlanta. We lose game 1. Whole bunch of injury stuff to deal with. AAA All-Stars. I mean, we have at least one. We might as well check. It's going to be Vlad Jr. That's pretty much a guarantee, right? Is that Vlad Jr. would have made the All-Star game? Did we have anybody else, though? We might have. Roberto Osuna. So he's being played down in AAA right now. So at the very least, trading him hasn't proven to be a big factor, as he is not currently being played at the major league level. Let's see. Indeed, Vlad Jr. has made the All-Star game. And I believe he was our only one. We might have had... Oh, Austin Meadows made it as well. And there might have been 1 or 2 others I missed, to be honest. Just being unfamiliar with the team this early on in the run. We'll sim that second game against Atlanta. We lose that as well. Not ideal. 4 games against Boston. This could be a major swing for us if we can take the majority of these games. We lose game 1. We lose game 2. Biagini goes down for a week or 2. We lose game 3. And we get swept. Right. Lovely. Home run derbies today. We don't have a participant, so I don't really care. We're at 51 and 44 come the All-Star break. We have at least one representative. Every team does. We might as well take a look here at who's going to the All-Star game. So it's Sale, Severino, Adelis, Keuchel, Porcello, and Tanaka as the starters. Bullpen, do we have anybody? Felipe Rivero has made the All-Star game. 27 saves on the year. So not too bad there. Syndergaard, Arrieta, and others on the other side. Josh Donaldson has also made the All-Star game. 24 home runs, 61 RBIs, and a .293 average. He is the starting third baseman for this team. So that's not too bad. At least we have 1 extra All-Star. I imagine that'll be it. And indeed it is. So, wow, 72 overall, Denard Span. Made the All-Star game. Damn. So overall, we have 2 starters, but we're not heading into the All-Star game in the best of moods and the best of positions. We are now 10.5 games back of the Yankees. Red Sox only 4 games back. In terms of the wild card race, we're still in a spot, but it's much, much closer. We are apparently the 8th ranked team, but if we are going to make it, there's no doubt we're going to need some additions. We're going to need guys like Stroman and Sanchez to do better. Alvarez hasn't been great since returning from injury. The optimism surrounding our rotation is gone for the most part. And some of the optimism surrounding the bullpen also not as high. Aside from Rosenthal and Rivero, certainly not as high. Lineup-wise, what are we looking at? So Pilar's done all right. I'm shocked he doesn't have at least 1 home run. That's incredibly rare. Teoscar Hernandez, hitting .212, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. Playing him down in AAA wouldn't really fly. It would affect his morale too much, and I'm not sure how well he would develop being down in AAA. But I don't necessarily want to give up on him because he can still develop. Unlike in NHL, you can have players develop. Really, from what I've seen, up to about 29 years old is like the latest cutoff point. So there's a couple of extra years. He has a contract coming up at the end of this next year. Does he have any send-down options? He does have minor league options, so we could send him down. Which, again, for his development, is that the best thing? Maybe, maybe not. But for the sake of this team, I mean, that's the thing. Short-term, long-term. It might be for the best to send him down to AAA and look to bring in a different left fielder. Just in general here, I mean, Justin Smoke's there. Solarte's been okay. Grichuk's been okay. Tulo's done well. I mean, I'm not really too upset with anybody else. Morales has been pretty disappointing. in terms of a pinch hitter. I'd say that left field improvement and just general pitching improvements would be the best way to go. So taking a look here, I could update the trading block and just see if anything comes about it, but I don't quite know because there's no one I want to specifically mark down. I mean, I guess I could though. All right. I mean, we're looking for pitching. There's no denying that. Let me just double check this, right? We're looking for pitching. Pilar at center is okay. I'm a little bit upset about his lack of power. Hernandez is going to be sent down. I think just in general, I'm just trying to think here if there's anybody else that kind of makes sense to bring in. But right now it does look like, for the most part, left field and pitching should be the ideal setup. So I'm going to look for, yeah, there we go. We'll just go for the outfield. We can select 5. So in terms of who we're willing to move here, of course I can go by each. Let me look here. So Lino doesn't really have much. Luke Maile, I think it was Melee. Some people were saying Maile. Good old Luke. Let's call him good old Luke. We can add Jensen to the mix. I mean, at 23 years old, 64 overall, he's not going to make it. I'm not sure how many players I can actually add. Rowdy Tellez. Now, he has actually developed in the past, which is crazy. I am willing to move him. Let's see, who else do we have here? Devin Travis has been on the bench. Gurriel, 24 and a 73. Might not be the worst idea in the world to bump up Gurriel. Gift Ngope can be moved. Biggio, not that big of a deal. I'm willing to just listen to offers on the majority of these players. I'm basically going to highlight anybody that's worth moving, although we do have some really good shortstop depth. Logan Warmoth as well is actually worth keeping. Sweeney, we're mainly looking for B potential. So like Dwight Smith Jr. is worth moving. Anybody else here at center? Austin Meadows I'm actually going to keep. Victor Mesa, how could we move him? Dalton Pompey will add to the list. And then right, let's see, Jalen Ortiz will keep. Parmley will keep. Who do we have now in terms of pitching depth? Prospects that we can look to move to make those improvements now? That is the question. I wish I could see the potentials from here. Unfortunately, that is not the case, so we have to keep scrolling through. I could go back to the roster editing deal and look from there, but we're already on this menu. Henderson Alvarez has been very disappointing this year. I am going to add him to the list. Not that Garcia's been great either. You know what? Actually, let's take a look here. So Rivero's been fine. Clippard, I'm going to put him on the list. Case doesn't matter as much. Rosenthal's been great. I'm willing to add certain players here. Zick, also not ideal. Tepera, I'm willing to move if there's a deal to be done. Barnes hasn't really played. Ramirez hasn't really played. And then from there, it just kind of dropped off. And then for starters, Stroman's not going anywhere. Sanchez, I don't know. Stroman's not going anywhere. Sanchez has at least turned it around a little bit. Estrada, same thing. Still not ideal. Garcia, I'd be willing to move. J.A. Happ, he's at least been okay. Not bad for a depth option, I suppose. And then from there, prospect-wise, Reed Foley I want to keep. Gaviglio I want to keep, I guess. I mean, he doesn't really have much value. Barucki, we'll add to the list. Do we have anybody else? Again, B potentials. TJ, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name, buddy. Not going to try. Nate Pearson will add to the list as well. All right, so that works. And we'll set it up that way for now. Like I said, we have until the end of the month to make moves, and I am going to wait to see if teams make any offers first before I go out and try to find anything. But seeing as we are at the break, I do want to change up the rotation and just kind of reward certain players who have actually been doing well. Barnes right now is our current long reliever just out of, I guess, necessity, but I want to change that So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. So Barnes, we're actually going to send you back down. Inoa's been pretty rough, but not terrible. I'm going to call him back up. I know the game sent him down, but it should be fine. And then, yeah, Henderson Alvarez has been pretty poor, so we're going to take him out of the starting rotation. And congratulations to J.A. Happ, who is going to be rewarded here a little bit. We're going to move him up over Estrada. Just for the moment, there is a chance that things could change quite quickly, though. Let's move past the All-Star game. The AL wins it 7-4. I'm intrigued to see if we get an offer anytime soon. Then we have until the 31st. So it's a 3-game series against the 42-win Orioles. Taking 2 out of 3 is pretty much a necessity, and we do. So that's a strong way to start. Now we're playing the 45-win Twins at home. Can we take 2 out of 3 against them as well? We have a big deal. Cardinals and Royals. Mike Moustakas to St. Louis in exchange for Michael Gregerson and Dexter Fowler. So that's huge. Moustakas off to St. Louis. Biagini's nearly back. And you know what? Let's go... Let's just go auto-fix all. We did take 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. Let's give the control back to the AI for the moment. We'll sim through this next one, and there we go. We have an offer from the Twins. Henderson Alvarez for Fernando Romero and Ryan Presley. So Romero is a 23B potential starter, 73 overall, and Presley is a 72, so nothing too impressive. And in terms of Major League success this season, has not been great. This would mainly be to pick up Fernando Romero, who has been terrible at the Major League level this season. But we could turn Henderson Alvarez into a decent pitching prospect, and to be honest, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold on to Alvarez. We have a 3-game series against the White Sox. After this, we are going to have to look to make moves. So, 48 wins. Let's see what we can do. 2 out of 3 wins would be great. And we just lost our starting right fielder to a broken leg for a month or 2. Shit. We also, we did win the series. I was going to say we lost game 2. We won the series against Chicago, but we just lost our starting right fielder. And as a result, the game has called up Vlad Jr., which I am okay with. I don't know if he is the permanent solution. Yeah, we need to make moves. We need to make moves if we're going to try to make the postseason. Hernandez is still going to be sent down. Justin Smoke hasn't been great. Everyone else has been at least okay. So we need outfield additions. Maybe a little bit of depth. Pitching-wise, we need help in the starting rotation. No denying that. And we're going to need a little bit of help in the bullpen as well. Let's see if we can work our magic. Let's see. As far as viewing the trading block, Liam Hendricks. If we wanted to go for him immediately. Whew. Oh my god. Oakland. Yes, please. What are you looking to get for a Liam Hendricks? Devin Travis and Garcia. Oh my god. Well, that's nothing. But what else? Travis and Pearson. Jansen and Travis. They really want Travis. Rowdy Tellez, Urshela, and Garcia. Jansen, Smith, and Clippard. So they are looking to get back a roster player. And potentially a prospect. I don't know if I want to move Devin Travis. The one downside to Travis is he doesn't naturally have a secondary position. But Travis and Jansen could work. Garcia has been okay. I'm not necessarily looking to miss out on him. I mean, we're going to make this deal. The one concern is he's making $2.4 million for a salary, so our cash flow might end up being a little bit low. Jansen, Smith, and Clippard. So basically, we use Jansen and Smith to get the upgrade in terms of a relief pitcher. And cash flow-wise, we'd actually be making a little bit of money. I think that's the one right there. That is the one right there. Roster player for roster player with Hendricks and Clippard. We get, when we use, we use and we get rid of Jansen and Smith to do it. Don't really have faith in either developing into anything too special. That could come back to haunt me, though. But Hendricks is having an incredible season. Only 25 innings of work, though. I don't know if he's been hurt or what the deal with him has been. But we are looking to pick up the Aussie here. I'm going to do it. Liam Hendricks, welcome to Toronto. Let's do it. It's so weird. It's glitching out and showing Sean Manaea as a Toronto player. That would be nice. Not the case, but that would have been nice. Who else do we have here? Rich Hill. I mean, I can't afford that money. All right, we're going to have to look elsewhere. But our first deal is done in terms of a bullpen acquisition. But from there, finding an outfielder might be tough. I could just look to trade players that I want to get rid of and just see what the return would be. So it's like we could use Rowdy Tellez, we could use Gift Ngape, and just be like, hey, MLB ready. Who do we got? Trace Thompson? Well, that was the only offer from the White Sox. It's not ideal. Emilio Pagan, Ryan Buchter, Robinson, not ideal. Anybody else? Jordan Hicks, not ideal. Jose Martinez at first. Martinez might not be terrible, but he would be a bench player, and we just moved Kendrys Morales. Jose Perella, and that's that. So we wouldn't get much back for those two individually, or not individually, but combined. What if I add Ursula to the deal? Let me just go MLB ready. Is there anybody else here that would really make this worth it? And again, I prefer to look at NL only. Torres and Perdermo. Andrew Toles? 25 being a 74, it's not terrible. Santella also isn't terrible. A little bit lower of an overall than what we'd be looking to bring in right now. Chad Kuhl. Good old Chad Kuhl. I mean, he'd be a decent addition to the starting rotation. Not sure how he's done this year. Davies, we'd have Barnes and Guerra. Good old Sal Romano. 24 being a 76. So Romano's an option. Chad Kuhl's an option. Steckenrider's an option. Could look to improve the bullpen. Preston Tucker. We have Buchter and Bassett. Pridwell. Hildenberger. Okay. So, again, we have Steckenrider, we have Romano, and we have Chad Kuhl. Let's take a look at these. So Chad Kuhl, how have you done this year? You have not pitched in the majors at all this season. No thank you. You might still be a half-decent option, but that's a complete unknown. Sal Romano has been miserable. So we move to the Marlins with Steckenrider, who has not been great either. 152 whip. Well, I was hoping to see better options than this. That is currently not the case. Yikes. So, I mean, I could take the risk. With old Chad here. 25 being a 79. He's a 77 playing like a 79. And again, he hasn't pitched in the majors this year. That is a massive risk. But it could pay off. Again, my assumption that Urshela, Gift Ngape, and Rowdy Tellez wouldn't exactly develop. Again, Tellez, he might, but the odds of him developing, that would take to make an NHL comparison, some ridiculous low elite, 18-year-old potential. Just ridiculous out of nowhere improvement, which, hey, we're looking to make an impact now. We're not going the rebuild route. This is absolutely a risk, but I'm willing to do it. Let's bring in some starting pitching depth. Chad Kuhl, we're going to make our second big-time deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's do it. That is a massive risk. I am well aware. But we are doing it. Let's see. Is there anybody else who's kind of a safe bet to get rid of? I guess Dalton Pompey. And from there, I feel like he was the only one position player-wise. Gurriel, probably worth keeping. So let's see. Who else do we have here that could be worth getting rid of? Sam Maul, not sure what kind of value you would have. Meza as well. It'd just be nice to look to see what these guys are worth, if anything. A Hembry and a Brian Johnson. It's not bad because I'd feel confident that we wouldn't be giving Boston anything back. Johnny Venters and Ryan Weber. Luis Avilan. Holy shit. The overall is nice. Question is, what are your numbers looking like for this season? But that is obviously by far my favorite. We have Mikey Matuk. Is it Mickey Matuk or Mikey Matuk? I imagine it's Mikey. I legitimately don't know. I'm not going to lie and say I know. I don't. Because I don't pay attention to the Detroit Tigers. And you can't really blame me. He's been one of the best outfield options we've been offered so far. I'm still very much blinded by the 82 overall. I'd say rightfully so, but I am a little bit optimistic, or a little bit pessimistic, I guess. I mean, I'm optimistic it'll be a strong addition. What am I looking for here? Josh Fields. Hello. Well, there's a backup option. I'm a little bit reserved. We'll see what the numbers are looking like here for Avilan. 136. Not bad. Not bad at all. The walks per 9 are a bit low. Control's a little bit low as well. Let's see. Let's take a look at the other guy here on the Dodgers. It was Josh Fields that they offered. Numbers are quite well rounded. Also a 135. 36 innings of work. The control's been improved upon. I would say it comes down to Fields and Avilan. Avilan's a little bit younger. Again, the one concern with him are really low walks per 9. The clutch is all right. The control, is pretty good. The velocity and the break were solid. It's just that low control combined with the low walks are really concerning. 5 pitches, though. Quite promising. I want to look back with the Dodgers here, though. Josh Fields, a little bit more well-rounded. 32 years old. 3 pitches, the 4-seam, the knuckle curve, and the changeup. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I would normally go with Avilan, but I'm a little bit weary of some of those attributes. I mean, obviously, the velocity and the break, very promising. Despite the control and the walks, though, he still put up good numbers this year. 20 strikeouts and 24 innings of work. Only 24 innings of work, whereas Fields... What's Fields at? 36. I'm going to trust Josh Fields here. Not to mention to trade to the NL, in case any of these guys somehow develop. Let's pick up Josh Fields from the Dodgers. So there we go. We have another deal in the books. And let's take a look here. So it's Rivero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And Biagini can be the long reliever. So already we're looking better with the addition of Fields and Hendricks. And not to mention Chad Kuhl as a starter. So we have some new options. We still need to address the outfield, though. So let's see what we can find here. I'm not sure who we'd want to move, if anybody. Again, Biagini can be the long reliever if necessary. So we have 5 there, 6 with Kuhl. Garcia has been extremely rough this season, and I'd love to get that contract off the books. J.A. Happ, same thing. Hasn't been great, and I'd love to get that contract off the books. If we could move those would be tremendous. And then from here, like I said, Sanchez hasn't been great, but he does technically have improved numbers over last year, but he was, out for a considerable amount of time. Estrada has been better than last year, which isn't saying much. Alvarez, the numbers have turned around a little bit. Andy Noah, the numbers have been okay. So those could be our 6. In terms of starters, we might be okay if we choose to trust who we have already. And then bullpen-wise, it's also not terrible. I just don't see what who would want to take on these two, let alone together. I can't imagine there's even going to be an offer to go through here. It's taking way too long. Holy shit. Okay, we might be able to get this to work. This would be more about, I mean, I can't imagine, although Jose Torres, I was going to say, I can't imagine someone would be willing to take back a contract. Like, is Torres already on a really good deal? Because how the hell is that $3 million in salary? Stephen Wright. This is more, I would say, about just clearing up as much salary space as we can, as opposed to getting back anybody half decent. Which, so far, I mean, so good. Ivan Nova, we could bring back. Josh Harrison. Not a bad option, making a little bit more money than I'd care to bring in, though. We have some options. Good old Matt Harvey. Luke Farrell, Tommy LaStella. Yeah, I think I will more than likely just take the worst offer possible. Tim Tebow! Oh, baby. I can't pass up on that. Tim Tebow and PJ Conlon. We free up some cap space and bring in Tim fucking Tebow. Oh my god, that is the one so far. We will double check, but that is probably the trade to make. Tim frickin' Tebow. Oh, I should have said frickin' the first time. Sorry, Tim, I might have offended you. Chuck Taylor, Tyler Clippard, Matt Joyce, down to a 71, poor guy. Armenteros. Do we go for the meme, or do we bring in Armenteros? And we wouldn't even really have to bring back that much alongside him. Do we go for the meme of Tim Tebow? Also Scott Blewett. Do we go for the meme of Tim Tebow, or do we bring back Armenteros? How serious do we want to be about this? Jose Rondon as well. 24B and a 67. It's not terrible. 20B and a 60, or a 56 from Jesus Sanchez. Alright, it comes down to one of two trades. It is either we take this deal for Armenteros. I might edit it a little bit just to see if we can cut out Anderson and Bragg. We either make this deal for Armenteros, or we make the deal for Tim Tebow. Oh, man. It's Tim Tebow, though, man. It's just a shame he doesn't have a picture. Arm strength 70, accuracy 45. Hilarious. He's a rumble pony, too. Look at him! God, how can I pass up on Tim Tebow? I think he was an all-star, too, was he? What the hell? I want to so badly, but I am also a tryhard. Skybolt. They have Skybolt, too. Is Armenteros a lefty? Hey, there he is. Alright, so we would have to take some other players back as well. I wasn't sure, or I'm not sure who they were at this point. Alright, whoops. Ah, damn it. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but hey, at least we know who we're moving. If we just go to all. Ah, boy. Tim Tebow or Armenteros? The memes or the dreams of tryharding and winning? Anderson and Bragg. Or do we go... Also Jason Worth. Or do we go for Tim frickin' Tebow? Oh, I have to be smart about this. Conlon's just not great. Ah, god damn it. I'm gonna be smart about it. I am. Let's go back to Oakland, and we'll take the deal. Anderson, Armenteros, and Sam Bragg. We will free up a ton of cash by moving J.A. Happ and Jaime Garcia. So let's do it. Armenteros. And I might just go trade for Tim Tebow, just so that everyone's happy and nobody complains. What do you want for Tim Tebow? Ian Parmalee? I mean, that's an improvement for me. And I free up money. Are you kidding me? Done deal. Welcome aboard, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, north of the border. Right, so that's not the improvement that we needed to make, but hey, it's one that we made, and again, we freed up some salary. The question is now, what do we look to do? Where are some other players who might be worth moving out? Anybody? There's a couple of decent options here, but really nothing too good It's worth moving out, but again, we need those outfield improvements. So let's take a look again. At catcher, we're good. I mean, if Russell Martin goes down, we're in a little bit of trouble, but bringing in anybody better than Gabriel Lino will just cause issues morale-wise. Lino's perfect for what we're doing. At first, as I hit the wrong button, I mean, Justin Smoke hasn't been perfect, but he can still do the job for now. His power dropping against lefties, that really concerns me. I don't know. I have my doubts about Justin Smoke, and as it is, he's lining up to be a free agent. There's a chance that we just let him go, to be honest. And hopefully we could get something for him. I just don't see who we could move him for right now. Solarte's still good at second. Not the greatest overall-wise, but he's producing. That's the most important thing there. Donaldson's been great. Whether or not Vlad Jr. stays on the main roster, I'm not sure. Tulo's also been okay. Of course, we have the prospects coming up. I still want to drop Teoscar Hernandez. Not sure for who. Pilar, Meadows is good. And then Grichuk being out kills us. We need a left fielder. We need a right fielder. And then in terms of starting pitching, like I said, depth-wise, it's a little bit rough. We do have some roster spots that we freed up, though. Relief-wise, we're okay. We have plenty of options there. So we need a little bit of starting depth, and we need some outfield help. Free agent-wise, who do we have? Nobody that's really going to help out that much. Like Scott Kazmir isn't really going to help out that much. He's going to be looking for way too much money anyway. So let's see who we can bring in. And the problem is, I'm not sure for what. I mean, I don't really want to move Reed Foley. Barucki, I'd say is worth moving. A year older than Reed Foley. So we can move a guy like Barucki. We could move a guy like Ziuk. Pearson I'd probably want to keep. We could move players like this and look to bring in somebody. What could I fetch for these two players? Michael Givens. Holy hell. Elsewhere, Brandon Belton, Manny Parra, Strickland. A lot of offers for relievers. Brad Hand. Oh my god. I might have to see how Brad Hand has done this year. That could be worth it. Parra and Bettis. That would solve the issue of outfield and pitching depth, I do suppose. What else do we have here? No, thank you with that deal. Come on, there's got to be something here again. Typically, the first offer is the best one, which is kind of proving to be the case there, slightly. Lugo, Robles. All right, this isn't as promising as it looked like it was going to be at the start. I am going to have to start looking around the league. So let's start with San Fran. Outfield-wise, I mean, McCutcheon gets paid way too much. Austin Jackson gets paid a little bit more than I'd prefer to pay him, and you don't have anybody else. There's got to be someone. Manuel Margot would be amazing. But with that A potential, he's probably going to be extremely difficult to bring in. What would they want for a Margot? Meadows, Cool, and Biggio. Can't do that, unfortunately. We'll look elsewhere. The Dodgers have Yasiel Puig. How's he done this year? Hitting .279. What would they want for Puig? Hendricks, Pilar, and Tulo. No, that's not happening. It's center, Chris Taylor. Damn, Chris Taylor might be half decent. Might be somewhat cheap. Fields, Guerri, and Solarte. Can't do that either, I'm afraid. Jock Peterson? How's he done this year? Hitting .314 and 51 appearances. What would they want for Jock Peterson? Henderson Alvarez, Travis, and Juan. Oh, Devin Travis and Zyke. Straight up for Henderson Alvarez. I can't really do that either. There has to be somebody here where it just makes sense. Parra's making a little bit more than I'm willing to pay. Same for Blackman. There's going to be that one. Steven Souza might be worth it. Owen Barucki, Zyke, and Zook. Interesting. Travis and Tepera. Zyke and Pearson. Travis and Tepera would be the most interesting one, but I don't really want to move Devin Travis. There has to be that one deal. AJ Pollock. Strata, Fields, and Biggio. Jesus. We might be in a little bit of trouble here. What about David Peralta? There we go. All right, so Peralta's an option, especially if we can move him for just Barucki. He's hitting .313 this year and 300. I mean, he's a regular for them, and he's hitting .313 this year. David Peralta right now is looking like an option. Not the best option, but an option. Yasmani Tomas, also not doing terribly. What would they want for him? Devin Travis, Tepera, Baraki. What would you want for the two of them? It's my question. Henderson Alvarez, Travis, and Zick. Zick and Baraki. Okay. We'll remember Arizona. I'm only going to look at the NL teams. Osuna, that's not going to happen. And Nelson Cruz. When the hell did they trade for Nelson Cruz? I don't know what the hell's going on in St. Louis. Gregory Polanco, I imagine you'd want the sun and the moon. For the most part, that's kind of the case, but I don't really want to trade Zyke. I could, though. We could work out a deal for Gregory Polanco. I'm cool with moving all three of those guys. Losing Gurriel would suck. Losing Zick would suck as well, in a way, but we do have that depth. 23 home runs and a .274 average. Polanco is a possibility. Marte is not. I cannot imagine. Marte is also an option. Right. Corey Dickerson, probably an option as well. Yeah, all right. Well, Pittsburgh, it might work. I might as well see what they'd want for Osuna. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. All right, so we have Peralta as an option. Pirates also presenting some good options. Christian Yelich, nope, they don't want to move him. Kane gets paid way too much. What about Broxton? Probably gets paid too much. Gurriel and Tapara. There are better deals from Pittsburgh. Castellanos. No, thank you. Better options from Pittsburgh, really. 249. Yeah, better options. It's going to be weird if Pittsburgh turns out to be our best option, which could very well be the case. Billy Hamilton, you're not good enough at the plate. Adam Duvall? Travis and Tepera, Travis and Pearson. It's amazing how many teams want Devin Travis, which is exactly why I don't want to get rid of him. Ian Happ's going to be way too expensive. Yeah, that's not happening. Who else? Almora, Jason Hayward, way too expensive. As we're slowly winding down in terms of options. That's not going to happen. Rhys Hoskins obviously isn't going to happen. Cespedes. Conforto, probably too expensive. Yeah, a little bit too expensive. Jay Bruce, you get paid too much. Harper's currently injured. I guess that would explain the Nationals' struggles. Eaton gets paid a little bit too much. Marlins. Brinson, nobody there. And Atlanta. Ender Inciarte and Acuna. All right. So, Pittsburgh. Dickerson hitting .253 with 18 home runs. Marte hitting .303. And Polanco has 23 goddamn home runs this year. So, for that reason, I am quite interested in Gregory Polanco. Quite interested. 23 home runs and a .274 average. Yeah, what do you want for Polanco? So Gurriel, Zick, and Barucki. Travis Alvarez and Seung-Hwan Oh. Gurriel, Oh, and Barucki. So who's done better between Zick and Oh? So we'd have to give up Barucki. He might develop, but it's worth giving him up in this instance. Gurriel kind of sucks to have to give him up in a deal here potentially, and obviously it's a little bit of a high price. But we do have some other options as well. Urena and Bichette. Both of them can play center, so that kind of solves that issue. One will play short, one will play second in the future. Did I say center? Or did I say second? I don't know. I didn't expect this to be another ridiculously long episode. That just kind of happens. Welcome to my channel in terms of how these videos play out. It's just kind of how it happens. So, it would probably be worth keeping Zick just for the fact that Seung-Hwan Oh is 35 years old. 137 whip. Oh has been better, as my connection to the show online has been lost. Good to know, even though I'm playing franchise mode. For the fact that he's 35 years old, this is the move to make. I'm going to do it. let's bring in Gregory Polanco from the Pirates. Maybe I'm a little bit too tantalized by the 23 home runs, but I'm feeling all right about this. So O has had a good season, but he's 35, and we have some extra relief depth. Barucki might develop. Gurriel will probably develop, but I'm okay with moving on from him. And also, he signed to a stupid contract. So let's do it. Gregory Polanco, welcome to Toronto. And that leaves me one more move that I'm going to be looking to make. So we have Polanco, Granderson, Pilar, and I still want to send down Hernandez. Ideally. Question is, Marte? Do I have what it takes to acquire Marte? I don't. What about Dickerson? I don't. We go back to Arizona. What about Peralta? Tulo, Tepera, and Zuk. Is it worth also moving Tepera? How does that affect the bullpen? Who's left? So we have Rivero. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'd still have Barnes. Might not be the worst move in the world. He's had an okay season. But we have just acquired some improvements, at least on paper. And this would help us out, outfield-wise. I mean, Peralta's hit .313 this season. We can send down Hernandez. It'll be good for his future to just kind of kill it at the AAA level. That again would leave the outfield as Peralta, Pilar, Polanco, with Granderson as our DH. I'm going for it. It's a risk, but I'm going for it. We freed up that extra cash by moving on from Garcia and Happ, and with it, we have brought in some reinforcements here just shy of the deadline. So let's take a look again at what the roster is shaping up to be. I don't think we're going to keep Vlad Jr. on the roster. I know that I'm sending down Hernandez. He's going to be slightly upset about it, but them's the breaks, Jr. Pilar, Polanco, Granderson. I'm not sure who else we'd want to send down. Relief is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So Barnes, can I send you down? I can. It's beautiful. And then starters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Anderson, we can send you down to AAA for the moment. That still leaves one too many, which pretty much means Steve Pearce can be sent down. And we could keep Vlad Jr. or we keep Steve Pearce on the roster and send down Vlad Jr., which is what we're going to do because he won't be a starter anyway. So Vlad, I'm sorry, you're going to be upset about that, but it is what it is. Next year, he's a guarantee. For this year, just keep killing it in AAA. So the rotation, it's just a matter of who we want to join. Whether or not Chad Kuhl is the one who deserves to have that spot. I mean, I don't want to waste Estrada as the long relief, but I might just let the game decide. Really. Here, let's sim forward. This first game against Oakland, we lost 10-5. That's ideal. What does the game set this up to be? Tepish got called up. Diaz. Anything at the major league level? AA, 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 and AA. Okay, so nothing too crazy. So the rotation right now, it has Michael Yanoa as the long reliever. So it's Stroman, Sanchez, Alvarez, Estrada, and Chad Kuhl. Bullpen is now Zick, who needs to improve. Josh Fields, who we acquired, who's been great. Joe Biagini, who was the long reliever, but still, he's been great this season. Hendricks, who we just acquired, he's been great. Rosenthal and Rivero. I mean, these three right here, that's the trio that could see us find success this year. And then lineup-wise, again, I'm feeling all right about. We have Pilar. We now have David Peralta as our second. Donaldson, Smoke, Gregory Polanco batting fifth. Solarte, Tulo, and Granderson with Russell Martin rounding out the order. Again, due to the injuries, or the injury to Randall Grichuk, who's out for 1 to 2 months with a broken leg. He could be out. He very well could be out for the rest of the year if he has a setback. So I'm feeling good about our additions. Rivero leads the league in saves, by the way. So I think we're good. Let's sim past deadline day here. It's another loss to Oakland. Well, let's see. On August 1st, we find ourselves 9 games back. The Red Sox have surged up the standings to pass the Yankees. Wild card-wise, though, we are still in a wild card spot. That's the race we're worried about. Division title, not so much, just being in the wild card, and we're 3.5 games above the Mariners with a 57-49 record. I'm not as optimistic, but I am feeling a little bit better after the series of moves that we have just made. Again, a complete recap here. We acquired Hendricks from Oakland for Jansen, Smith Jr., and Tyler Clippard. We acquired Chad Kuhl from Pittsburgh for Rowdy Tellez, Gift Ngape, and Giovanni Urshela. Josh Fields from the Dodgers for Dalton Pompey, Sam Mull, and Tim Meza. We acquired Anderson, Armenteros, and Sam Bragg from Oakland for J.A. Happ and Jaime Garcia to clear up a bunch of space. Tim Tebow from the Mets for Ian Parmalee. Gregory Polanco from the Pirates for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Seung Hwan Oh, and Ryan Barucki, and David Peralta from the Diamondbacks for Ryan Tepera and TJ Zuch. I'm not entirely sure. This took a lot longer than expected. Tell me if you've heard that before. We're actually going up against J.A. Happ in this next game. Of course, Oakland's been kicking our ass so far in this series. I'm going to end things here. Next episode, we will sim through the rest of the season to see if this version, this incarnation of the Blue Jays, happened to be a playoff team. Again, that is the goal every year. Make the postseason. We need to make it to the World Series within 3 years. Are we on the right path? Perhaps. Some things still need to fall into place. The development of guys like Bichette, obviously Vlad Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, now Austin Meadows, who we acquired previously. Those are going to be big factors as well. But for the moment, we are at least on pace to be a playoff team. It's just whether or not we can get the job done, and we'll find out in the next episode. So for now, I hope you did enjoy. Again, sorry for another hour episode, but I'm still working on getting the formatting down for this type of series, so we'll figure it out. But you know me, longer episodes are the way to go. I do prefer to just show people the method to the madness. It is what it is. I'm not going to defend it at this point. It's how we do things. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already done so. Notification bell and all the other stuff that YouTubers tell you about in every single episode. Make sure to check out the description below as well. There are links to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on both of those platforms. Of course, I've been addicted to MLB on Twitch as of late. And as of late, I mean by the past month and a half, really. So yeah, check that out if you haven't already. Until next time. Have a good one. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did I ruin this team? What moves did you hate? What moves should I have made? I can't wait to find out. And until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. And goodbye.